My name is Aram, and this is my video presentation on integrating net zero architecture within Kalaheo Ahupua systems. So, Kalaheo pretty much is a very traditional Hawaiian model of sustainability. They, rely on mountain to sea kind of sustainment for natural resources, which is the area that I have lived in for majority of my time living in Hawaii. We were tasked with building a project kind of based on our personal area. So I built one, obviously in Kalaheo, representing, as you'll see in Model 2, for the Madeira's farm. It's a butcher shop in the area. So the goal was to kind of, integrate with what's already there into this system of, using solar power to hit this net zero um, ideal system. So my design was pretty much using the Aladdin program, first starting with a model of the building to as best to scale as could be done, and then kind of varying situations of first the R and U values to get that best insulation to kind of have the least amount of like required or already energy already generating to need a higher AC output. So minimizing that as much so that it there'd be less solar power needed to generate to compensate. And then it was leading into now let's add solar panels to the building, which I went from completely covering the entire building with them to shrinking it all down to as few as possible. Which goes into our testing phase where we did our uh, yearly building analysis, which kind of gave us that idea of okay, how much are we how much heat or is being generated, how much solar AC do we need to generate to compensate, which gave us that net value at the end. Also, tried working with trees to see, as the figure I have there kind of shows, that was pretty much maximizing of like as much solar panels, as many trees that don't go high enough to start blocking them. So naturally, as you can see in the analysis data there, it's so beyond net zero. It's we're generating so much, which of course not technically the ideal, which was why it still required more testing. But that was a good way of like, okay, we're way over budget now. Let's start bringing it down to get to a reasonable, sensible amount. So yeah, overall it was a pretty interesting time to kind of realize just how well these systems could be integrated into our island life that would improve the ways we are bringing energy independence to the island as we go on. And yeah, I believe it. Some of my slides got a little cut off due to the way formatting this. I'm not very comfortable with this loom just yet. Uh, yeah, I'd like to acknowledge I don't really know any of the greater people who funded it, so I only know my teacher in the school, who are the ones that provided me with the resources that I've used thus far. And of course, there's some sites I referenced there, the areas where I got a little bit more in-depth personal information about it. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Have a great time, and go solar.